You probably recognize one of the fellows in the thumbnail of who are the two big winners of the AI revolution. You probably recognize Jensen Huang, who is the CEO of Nvidia. The other guy is Charles Liang. Charles is the CEO of Super Macro Computers. I came across Charles basically because his stock is doing so well this year, and I wanted to find out why. And I went to their website. I learned what they were doing. They are building the computer that all the data centers are going to have to switch to as a result of the impact of OpenAI and eventual machine learning. They did a talk together where they explained what Super Macro is doing and what Nvidia is partnering with them in doing to prepare for the change that is happening. I want you to go to Supermacro's website. I'll put a link to it in the description and watch the presentation of the two of them. You'll learn more about what's going to happen in the future than you will anywhere else that I'm aware of.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
I doubt if you've gone to the video with the presentation from Jensen and Charles, but do make sure you do it, because once you do go to it, you'll understand what is going to happen relative to the next generation of the digital revolution. As Jensen says, up until now, we've just been asking for information, and the computer system, the data centers, have been giving the information, the data that we ask for, whether it's in the form of a Google or a Bing search, or if it's in the form of a website that you can access and see. In the future, you're going to interact. And as you interact, the drawdown on these computers is going to be massive. And what's in the data centers, as Charles and Jensen explain right now, won't get it done. So they've got to be re-engineered. They've got to be built differently. And so this is going to take these two guys and make them very, very wealthy. What I want to do then is say, particularly in the case of Nvidia, is it played out. It's up 180% just this year. But if you'll dig down and say, well, okay, that's based on the revenues of this year and maybe anticipated revenues of the future. But what are the anticipated revenues of the future? Has that information been released? And how does it relate to the stock price that we're paying today for Nvidia? And then take that same logic and apply it to Super Macro Computers. Is their price fair? And based on an analysis, is it going to go up? And if it's going to go up, how high will it go up based on the information we have relative to their future revenues and their future profits? So I've created an Excel spreadsheet where I have a template that I can just plug these numbers in, and it does the analysis for me. That's part of what you get when you're a part of the Bus 13 program that I'm sponsoring right now. So let's go to my computer. Let me show you how I've tried to analyze what's the price of Nvidia going to be on December 31st of 2024, and the same for Super Macro Computer. Let's take a look at it. This is the template that I built in Excel to analyze stocks. And what I want to show you now is my analysis of Super Macro Computer and Nvidia, and help me or see how I go about trying to figure out what the future price of these two stocks are going to be, and thus why I want to keep them in the Bus 13 portfolio. Some of these numbers are automatically produced on Excel when I enter the ticker symbol, such as the number of shares, the current price, which I use in my calculations, the PE ratio, and the market cap. That represents $1 trillion. That represents 11.34 million. So with that in mind, I then go and find their income from 2013 through 2023. I calculate through a formula the growth or decrease in income year over year. I do the same thing for revenues. I enter their stock price change on an annual basis. I then also enter their earnings per share and the change in earnings per share, their growth profit margins, their net profit margins, their free cash flow, and then down here I put the stock price for the past 3 years, and then I do some calculations of the increase in the stock price. This is as of January 1st of January. This would be as of yesterday, Friday the 23rd. And then I show the change. Now here, what I'm doing is calculating the price relative to revenue. Now my revenue is expressed in millions of dollars, and my price is in dollars. So my fraction is 3%. The price of revenue, the comparison of the price relative to revenue of 6.774 million is 3.2%. The current price relative to income is 37.8%. And again, this is just to give me a reference point. I then take those percentages and multiply them towards what the company has said their expected revenue will be in 2024. That is this number here, and their expected income in 2024, and I multiply it times the price increase of the prior year. Okay, and this gives me of the current year. This gives me a reference point or some means of estimating what is the price of Supermicro Computer, ticker SMCI, going to be at the end of 2024. And as I say, the price is currently 216. I'm guessing calculating it's going to be between 233 and 257. I then take that same logic and apply it to Nvidia. And here you see all of their numbers, and here you see the calculations that I've made. Now you can see that Nvidia's price per income is quite high relative to what it has been in the past. And so if it stays in the same area or relevance, Nvidia's price is going to be, at the end of 2024, $1,690. Do I think that's accurate? I don't. If it's going to stay relative to revenue, it's going to be $698.75. And then you see it growing as the revenue and income projections that I've been able to find for all the way through 2027 in Nvidia. So that's how I analyze stocks. I use these past numbers to basically come to a conclusion in my mind. Are the future numbers accurate, relevant to the past numbers? The more I can know about the past and focus for the most part on the past 3 years, recognizing that 2021 and 2020 were not normal years, but that they're reflective. This is all very reflective of what the future might look like. This will be a part of the website that if you're a part of the premium members, you'll be able to come and see this. And as you can see, I've done it on a number of stocks and will continue to do it on the future to give me a representation of what I can expect for my bus portfolio, and is a stock ripe to be in the bus 13 portfolio. Okay, I don't think the world has woken up to what is about to happen. We know what's happened as a result of the digital revolution, what happened since 1989 relative to access to computers, access to social media, to online e-commerce, and the phone that we now have that we didn't have back in 89. Well, what's going to happen, and we all recognize how that just made the companies, the trillion-dollar companies that we have now, like Apple and Tesla and Nvidia, and those right behind it, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. They are going to make the trillion-dollar mark. And there are going to be some other companies that are going to be right there with them. And I think I have just shown you how that's going to happen. If you don't understand the magnitude of the change, you're going to continue to listen to the talking heads, both on YouTube and on television, that say we're in for a recession. If you will go to the video on the website of Super Macro and watch that 24-minute video and try to understand Charles. He's Taiwanese, but he does his business here in the United States. And Jason is much easier to understand. You will come away and say, I've just opened a window of the future, and I know what's going to happen, and I know who's going to make it happen. I hope you grasp that, because I want you to become wealthy. And this is how it can happen. If you like this sort of thing and you want more information, come to our tribe. You'll get there through the Patreon. That link is also in the description. Join our premium group where you get access, and we'll have daily access starting sometime in mid-July to all this information on our website. Right now it's available on our Discord. I'll talk to you more about this, I'm quite sure, in the future, and I hope you find your way onto the bus.